Art?
In my job, I work quite a bit with physicians and staff at our Bariatric Solutions Weight Management Program. And one of the things that I've learned is childhood obesity is really an epidemic, and the accompanying diabetes and hypertension in our kids is nationwide. So I don't think that this is a problem that Findlay City Schools can tackle by itself. I think it's a sort of a cultural thing. But another thing that these physicians told me is that with children, one of the main reasons that kids are overweight is drinking, we always call it pop where I'm from, but soda. They see patients that are drinking 4 and 5 2-liter bottles of soda every day, so you can imagine how much weight that puts on you. I don't believe that they have pop machines in the middle schools or the elementaries here anymore. I do know, and I didn't get the chance to ask Mr. Barnhart this, that the schools got quite a big stipend from carrying an exclusive, right? Mr. Kupperberg, you do Coke, Pepsi? Exclusive Coke. But I guess what I'm saying, and having 2 kids, I don't think our kids can learn to make choices if we make all those choices for them. And I think by taking away all candy and taking away all soda, we don't really do them a favor. What we have to teach them is how to make the choices, to choose wisely. 2 other things that I do applaud. One thing is the discontinuing. I think they have discontinued it in all the elementary schools of bringing in cake or cupcakes for your birthday. I remember there were weeks when my daughter got like 22 desserts because it was big birthday week. And I believe now they recommend that you buy a book for the library or something like that. So I applaud that. And another one was something sort of interesting. I spoke to the Jefferson Chamberlain PTO a couple weeks ago, and their phys ed teacher was there asking for a grant to buy something, and if you have kids, it's called Dance Dance Revolution, which hooks up to the TV, and adults can't do it for some reason. But and he's very excited about it. So looking for new ways that, maybe kids don't want to run around the track anymore, but ways to keep them physical and get up.
Do they play guests
For that Dance Dance Revolution? I don't know. I'll take you on, Cal. We'll dance.
Again, to answer the question, Findlay City School does have a wellness program. There's an educational component to that that's in the elementary school system. We do work very closely with our cafeteria staff and Mrs. Hartman, who runs the food service, to make sure we have good nutritional meals to the students, both breakfast and lunch. It is amazing how many students come to school without a breakfast in the morning, so we do provide that as well. I think, again, if you can get them with a full stomach and ready to go and some energy for the day, it helps out the educational process during that. But we also got to look at community as well. The school system can only do so much. You've got to work with the local YMCA and the county and city health department as well. And there's got to be an educational component as well through that process to educate our parents. So that's what I feel.
I was very pleased to find out this year that my son, I believe in his health class at Central, saw the documentary Super Size Me. He says, "Mom, I'm never going to eat at McDonald's again." I said, well, it's not about eating at McDonald's, it's about excess. And so I was very pleased to see that they showed that, because that's a child. Generally, if you give them a choice of where they're going to, let's go out to dinner tonight, where do you want to go? One of my kids will say that they want to go to Tokyo Steakhouse, and the other one will want to go to McDonald's, and so we try to get them to go somewhere in between. They think it's the same. But I'm probably going to say one of the most unpopular things right now that anyone's going to say here tonight, and that is that I question the wisdom of open lunches at the high school. I think that we're training our children try to make great choices, and then at noon we send them out to fast food alleys. And I think that while we have to train our children to make the correct decisions, at the same time we don't want to tempt them with too many incorrect decisions. I think we've got great lunches. My kids really, they come home and tell me what they had for lunch, and that old day when school lunches were icky is gone, and they're very excited about what they have for lunch. But I think at the high school level, the meal that's provided for the high school students may be the only nutritious meal they have all day. And we have to look at that. Now, we might say as parents here today, because obviously we wouldn't be here if we weren't concerned parents, that we don't think that's true. But I've worked with the CASA program, I've seen the neglected and abused and dependent children in this town, and there are plenty. And that might be the only true balanced meal that they get each day. And one other thing, and I'm going to go a little off the board here, that open lunches concern me for other reasons. When, as Rick can attest, once you become an attorney, you see life as one big lawsuit. Every branch that hangs down in a sidewalk you see as a lawsuit waiting to happen. And I have some real security concerns over allowing our children to leave the premises over the lunch hour and come back, if they come back, not knowing what they're doing over the lunch hour, and knowing that the parents have entrusted the school district with their children from the time they get on the bus to the time they get home. And I think that is an issue that we need to address before Findlay High School faces the tragedies that we see on the news every day.
To answer you, what have they done? I don't know what they've done. What I would like to see, if I'm on the board, there needs to be an educational component. We need to give our children the information. Number two, we need to get community involved, be it the Y, be it the health department, whatever resource we can tap into. And secondly, I would like to see the deletion of gratuitous sugar, as Barb mentioned, and as my early winter weight can attest. I enjoy Mountain Dew, and I picked that up in college. I don't drink coffee, but if I need a kick of caffeine, Mountain Dew, she's there for me. But the problem is it's a habit, and I now have this problem, and I'd like to kick it, and it's difficult. So telling them you shouldn't do this, and then dangling in front of them, I think would be counter to what we're trying to do. And I think some schools have actually pulled top out, which is wonderful. And then I just like, maybe we could take a step further and maybe get candy bars out and replace them with granola bars. As my niece is probably groaning in the background, but